This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1980-83 Fall League National League Championship Series. A series between the number 3 seeded Philadelphia Phillies and the number 4 seeded Houston Astros. The two teams that actually met in the National League Championship Series of 1980. Let's start there, actually. I got Baseball Reference up. Thought I'd bring this up because if you want to go back, this was one of the most classic baseball series. 1980 Phillies-Astros, 5-gamer. Phillies outlast the Astros 3-2. And look here under the word final. 10 inning, 11 inning, 10 inning, 10 inning. Incredible series, it really was. Let's keep scrolling down a bit. I want to focus on a hitter here if I can. Well, Bo had a nice series, 6 hits in 5 games. Got to keep going down to the, and of course Pete Rose had 8 hits. Got to keep going down to Houston though. Terry Poole hit .526, 10 for 19. The good news for the Phillies is that Terry Poole is not a member of this Houston team that we're using today. He was acquired in a deal many years ago by Portland. So they have a different outfielder on the Astros. In this 5-gamer, familiar names: Dave Smith, Tug McGraw, Carlton, of course, McGraw, of course, Sambito, of course, Dick Ruthin. I'm going to tell you right now, Steve Carlton won that game. Well, he got a no decision. Tug McGraw got a save. He got a win. Dave Smith gets a win. He's got a loss. Tug McGraw gets a loss. He gets a save. Warren Brewster gets a win. He gets a save. Joe Sambito gets a loss. He gets a loss. Tug McGraw, yeah, you can see the idea. We're getting some similarities, a lot of them. Ruthin got a win. Got a win. I'll show you all that, folks. Look at these scores. 3-1, 7-4, 1-zip, 5-3, 8-7. Okay. That's baseball history there. Let's shut that down. And let's take a look at how it's played out for me. Game 1. It's J.R. Richard for the Astros, Steve Carlton for the Phillies. First inning blues for J.R. Richard. Comes out of the bullpen, throwing lightning. As soon as he takes the mound, can't find home plate. A walk to Lonnie Smith, a walk to Gray Gross, a single by Pete Rose, an error by shortstop Tunathon after a couple strikeouts. Soul-crushing RBI singles by Rob Wilfong and Larry Boa, and it's 4-0. This would be all the Phils would need. In the 4th inning, you get a double single, but a double play, scoring a run, then a Ty Waller double, and then Rob Picholo, a free agent, former member of the Oakland A's, 2-run homer. We go to the 9th inning. After an out, Tug McGraw. Carlton's gone after 7 2/3, 9 hits, 3 runs. 9th inning, Picholo, solo shot. He has a 2-run homer off of Steve Carlton, a solo shot off Tug McGraw. Hero stuff, 4-4 game, and we're looking at classic Astros-Phillies. Bottom of the 9th, however, the Phils have an answer. Pete Rose walks after an out. Bake McBride, double into the gap. Jose Cruz comes up with it. Pete Rose rounds third, slides in head first, probably didn't have to, and he scores the run. Phils walk it off 5-4. So that's the Sambito loss to mirror the ALCS of 1980. Phils win 5-4. Game 2. Tug McGraw gets the win as he blew the save in the 9th. Collects the win in the bottom half. Game 2. Nolan Ryan, Eric Schau free agent signed from off the Padres. In this game, Harry Spillman hits a homer for the Astros. Bottom of the third, RBI single, Lonnie Smith were tied. Top of the fourth, Boa commits an error, scores on a Dickie-thon triple. It's 2-1. Stays this way. Ryan and Shal, Ryan's a starter 7, Shal's a starter 6, but both guys go the distance. Eric Shal gives up a homer in the ninth to Alan Ashby to make it 3-1. His line, 9 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, 6 Ks. But meanwhile, the Ryan Express, after giving up a single in the 7th, gets the last 9 batters out in a complete game. Nolan Ryan, 9 innings, 5 hits, 1 run allowed, 5 walks, 5 Ks. Astros tie the series 3-1. This score sounds like a similar score we saw in Baseball Reference. Series tied a game apiece, and we're thinking, okay, what happened in 5 games in 1980? Let's keep that magic going in 7 games in my league. Game 3, the 8th wonder of the world, the Houston Astrodome. Phillies on the road, it's Ray Burris versus Joe Niekro. In this one, in the 3rd inning, off of Burris, they get an Alan Ashby walk, a Ty Waller single, Dave Collins walk, 2-run single Bill Duran, sac fly Cedeno, 3-0. Phillies, they cannot figure out Joe Niekro in this. It stays 3-0, folks. And Joe Niekro, after that brilliant performance of Nolan Ryan, he's got a shutout through 8. And here comes the 9th inning. Oh boy. Gary Maddox singles. Bullpen gets up. Lonnie Smith walks. They leave Niekro in there. He gives up a single to Greg Gross, and that we've seen enough. So he runs out of gas in the 9th. Probably could have hooked him with a shutout. They go to Dave Smith. Remember, Sambito lost game 1, the lefty. They go to the righty, Dave Smith. He gets Pete Rose to fly out. Then who else? Mike Schmidt, 3-run bomb in the 9th. Takes the lead 4-3. A 3-1 deficit to the Astros. They were trying to win games 2 and 3 by 3-1 scores. Mike Schmidt, who else, has answers for that with a 3-run homer. And now Tug McGraw gets a save in the bottom of the 9th. Got to tell you how this happened too, folks. Denny Walling, a left-handed batter, faced the lefty McGraw, gets a double off the McGraw card. After a ground out, pinch hitter Tim Wallach is announced. Tim Wallach crushes homers against lefties. As the lead run, Tug McGraw intentionally walks him, puts him at first base. Seldom ever see that happen, particularly in a playoff game. You walk intentionally the winning run, setting up Alan Ashby a 5-4-3 double play. It worked for the Phillies. They get out of that home run batter. And again, Tim Wallach, we might be able to show you that card in this game, has a similar number of homers against lefties that Mike Schmidt would have. So if I put Hall of Famer batter and forgot to put the guy's name in there, you'd probably understand the logic. But there you go. Phils reclaim home field that they lost in Game 2 with a 4-3 victory. So now the Astros have to get on their bicycle and hustle around the bases and tie this thing up into Game 4. Game 4, it's going to be Dick Ruthven-Nails against Rich Wortham. If you've been following the channel, you saw Rich Wortham in the divisional round as the starting pitcher against the Cincinnati Reds on the mound as the Astros closed out Cincinnati in a 3-game sweep. So, he's always walking a tightrope, and the Astros always open their bullpen when Wortham's pitching. Keep in mind that that open bullpen has losses by Joe Sambito and Dave Smith thus far. Okay. Lineup change. The Astros have been stealing the pants off of Keith Moreland, the +2 arm catcher. So with a lefty starting, Steve Yeager and his -2 arm is now catching for the Phillies. Okay, great. Second inning, you get a Mike Schmidt walk Gary Maddox strikes out. Mickey Klutz singles. Then Steve Yeager, a 3-run homer. Former Dodger, signed in free agency when the Phillies lost Bob Boone in free agency to the Angels. They went out and got Steve Yeager as a backup catcher, the 20th man on the team, we like to say. 3-run bomb, and the Astros are in trouble. Or so it seems. Bottom of the second inning now, off Ruthven. You get a Dickie Thon homer. Schmidt makes an error. Spillman walks. A 2-run triple by Ty Waller. If you're wondering, yeah, the Astros have a Walling, a Wallach, and a Waller to confuse the broadcaster immensely. It's a 3-3 tie. This looks like it's going to be like that 8-7 game we saw on Baseball Reference. Third inning, a single by McBride. He will score on a 2-base error by third baseman Ty Waller. He throws it into the box seats. 4-3 Phillies. We continue into the fourth, and this is where Rich Wortham, the weak link, the 20th player we like to say off the Astros. Remember, the 20th player on the Phils, Yeager, hits the homer off the 20th player on the Astros, Wortham. In the fourth inning, you get a walk to Wilfong, a walk to Lonnie Smith, and that'll do it. So Wortham's gone. I mean, they're down 2-1. They can't afford to blow this game. Wortham's line, 3 1/3, 7 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 4 walks, 2 Ks. They go to Randy Moffett. He's the righty who gets righties out. He gets out of the third inning, but he runs into trouble in the fourth. He walks Wilfong and Boa, and that's where the Astros now have yanked Wortham, yanked Moffett. We're only in the fifth inning, and they have to go to Dan Boone in a 6-4 game. They got Boone, Sambito, and Smith left. They're already down 2-1 in the series. They got 5 innings to cover. They need some hero magic out of Danny Boone, and he delivers. Dan Boone faces Wilfong in the fifth, gets him to strike out. You got runners on the corners with nobody out. He strikes out Wilfong, gets Boa to ground out, and strikes out Rose. Second inning relief, 3 up and 3 down. 3 up and 3 down in the seventh, gets the lead batter out in the eighth. Dan Boone, 3 1/3 innings, 2 strikeouts, nobody reaches. In a head-scratching series, Dan Boone has been brilliant, while Joe Sambito and Dave Smith have been lousy. Speaking of that, let's go straight to the ninth inning. Dave Smith. Just get us to the ninth inning with a 6-4 deficit, Dave. Can't do it. 2-man reach, RBI single by, you guessed it. You guessed it. If you said Steve Yeager with his 4th RBI of the game, you'd be correct. Steve Yeager can't hit righties at all. Doesn't matter. Dave Smith gets the RBI single. Greg Gross an RBI single. It's 8-4. They start to file out of the Astrodome. Ruthven goes 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, 4 Ks. In the last 3 frames, Tug McGraw, he gets the day off. He's pitched a lot in this series. So they go to Ray Searage, gives up a hit and 5 batters. Warren Brewster, we saw his name on Baseball Reference. He gets the save. Gets the final 4 outs. And this series, unfortunately, is not as competitive as your 1980 American League Championship Series. The Phillies take game 4. 8-4 is the final. They have one more win to get. 1 game in Houston, 2 games if needed back home at the Vet in Philadelphia. There's going to be a day off. We return to Houston for a game 5, and we got a classic pitching matchup for you YouTubers out there. Game 5, Phillies in the Astrodome. There go to Steve Carlton. Yep, 1980 Steve Carlton, 24-9, 2.34 ERA in 304 innings. This is his opportunity to put his team back into the World Series. A World Series that the Phils got swept in a year ago to the Expos. And for the Houston Astros, this is it, folks. Nolan Ryan, you've been wanting this. You got it. Steve Carlton, Nolan Ryan. I don't know if it gets any better than that. Two of the greatest strikeout pitchers in baseball history. The best, and I don't know where Carlton is. He's second best? Fifth best? Somewhere. The Ryan Express, Steve Carlton. In the year of the strike, 1981, Nolan Ryan was 11-5 with a 1.69 ERA and 149 innings. Arguably his best year in Houston. Both teams have juggled their lineups because of the superior starting pitching. What a thrilling game on tap, we hope. We would like to see the Astros win, I guess, to just create some more drama, as the Phillies seem to have a stranglehold on this thing. Let's get started from the Houston Astrodome. Leading off for the Phillies, it'll be Lonnie Smith. 111's a fly ball to right. Larry Herndon, 68, is a fly ball to left. And Pete Rose, 6'11", grounded to first base. First baseman today is Wallach, yes. Tim Wallach's a 3-11 at first base. And he surrenders a single. There's an opportunity for Mike Schmidt. 111 is hit by the pitch. And now the opportunity extends to number 5 hitter, Gary Maddox. What the Phillies have done is, because Ryan hardly puts any lefties on base, no hits on his card, some walks, they have Greg Gross and McBride starting the game on the bench. You can do things like that when you're up 3-1 in a series. So Gary Maddox is now on the 5 spot. 3-5 for Maddox, flies to left. All right, bottom of the first. The Astros have all their lefties on the bench with the exception of Jose Cruz. Leading off, it's Cedeno. 47 is a K. Jose Cruz. 46 is a K. And batting third, Rob Peachley. Remember, he had the 2 home runs in game 1. One off of Carlton, one off McGraw. In the 3 spot, if there is a pitching change, Peachley will be gone, of course. He's a designated hitter. 57 is a K. Peachley, by the way, hits about .320 against left-handed pitching in 1981. Top of the second, it's Keith Moreland. Not catching, designated hitter. Doesn't have his bad arm influencing the game. Yeager is going to stick around and slow these Astros down, who had been stealing at will against Moreland. 34, Keith Moreland. Let's take a look at a card. Here he is, folks. Only the second best rookie on your 1980 Phillies. He hits .314. Second best to Lonnie Smith's .339. 3-4. Homer 1018. And it's gone. And the Phils take a 1-0 lead. Rob Wilfong. 411. Right X. Right fielder is Jose Cruz. He's a 2 in right field. He makes the catch. Larry Boa, 58. Strikeout. And Steve Yeager batting 9th because he doesn't hit righties very well. 65. Short X. He's in there just to keep the Astros from stealing bases today. Fon's a 2E30 at short. And he makes the play. 1-0. Bottom of the second inning. It's Tim Wallach. Let's show you the card now. This is that lefty. Let's show you. We talked about it in the pregame. So this is the card that got intentionally walked as the winning run in Game 3. See these homers on 10, 9, 8, and 7 for Wallach. In 1982, he hits 28 home runs and a huge chunk against lefties. With a .268 average for the Expos, who in our league, the Expos held on to their third baseman, Larry Parrish, and Tim Wallach becomes the one who gets away. Here's your pitch to Tim Wallach. 1-8 is a base hit. Dickie Thon. 44 off Carlton is a K. Ashby batting 6th. 34 pops to 3rd. Number 7 hitter Dave Collins. 5'12". Center X. Gary Maddox. A 1 in center field. He is a 1E3 in center field. Good luck with that. He makes the catch. We go to the third. Back up top. Lonnie Smith, 42. Flies to center. Larry Herndon, 37 is a K. Pete Rose, 68 is a K. Bottom of the third. It's Dave Cash. 5'11". Second X. It's Will Fong, 2E5. Great defense for the Phils in their infield. Ty Waller, 59. Second C. And Cedeno. 1-9 is a double to right field. He's at second for Cruz. 2-5 flies to center field. Into the fourth. Mike Schmidt, 36 will be a walk. Gary Maddox against Nolan Ryan. You know, if you got an opportunity to not swing the bat against Ryan, you probably should consider it. Maddox can hit and run with Schmidt, and he will. He gets the hit and run single on the 5. Perfectly timed, and oh boy. We got runners in the corners, nobody out. And it's Keith Moreland who homered his last time up. Maddox is a C stealer. You don't have to hold if you want to play back and cross your fingers for a double play, of which Keith Moreland hits into a ton. You saw the card. They're going to do that. They're going to play back with nobody out and hope for a Keith Moreland double play. Here's the pitch. 47 off Ryan is single 1-4, and he misses it. Now with one out, they're going to bring it up for A. Bunting, Rob Wilfong. 1-6 is a base hit through the infield. A terrible break. Let's show you the Rob Wilfong card. He was a free agent signed from the Twins, 1980 at 248. 2E5 is why they went out and got him. I guess they had Manny Trio on the 1980 Phillies. He was long gone from the roster. So they had to get some patchwork at second base. They got Wilfong. And 1-6 is ground ball second A plus. Had you played back, that's an inning double play. But you played up because he's an A bunter, and that became, sadly, an RBI single. 2-0. Now you got Boa. Boa is not an A bunter, believe it or not. He's a B bunter. You don't have to bring the infield up, theoretically, but you have to hold Wilfong. You kind of still want a double play. Let me look at the ground ball B's opportunities on Boa's card. He only has one. They're going to play it back. They need a double play, as Boa is not going to bunt, or a threat to bunt. If you're wondering about the strategy on Wilfong, A bunters, as a rule, I always bring the infield up for them. When you got runners on the corners, with less than 2 outs, of course. So that's why that's logic was used. Don't have to use it for Boa because he's a B. Here's the pitch to Larry Boa. 2-5, he pops out. And with 2 outs, it's Steve Yeager. 2-9, grounds out. So minimal damage, but it is a 2-0 game. And it'll be bottom of the fourth. It's Rob Picholo leading off. 2-4 lines a second. Tim Wallach, 48 Ks. And Dickie Thon, 35 walks. The tie run is Alan Ashby. 45 of Carlton is a fly ball to right field. We go to the fifth. Lonnie Smith, 69 is a roller to second. Herndon, 1-9, grounds to short. And Pete Rose, 66, is a strikeout. I know it's only the 5th inning. It's just 2-0. How long do we want to go with Lonnie Smith playing left field? That's a scary proposition. Well, he's already had 3 at-bats, and he wouldn't bat again until probably the 8th inning. But he'll stay out there in the spirit of the game, I guess. Bottom of the 5th, 2-0 Phils. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right. Carlton will face the bottom of the Astro lineup. I have to say, Astros are much better against righties than lefties. That plays into Carlton's hands. Carlton pitched 8 innings in Game 1, probably deserved a win, and Tug McGraw blew the game in the 9th with a Picholo homer. So Carlton is, matching or exceeding his Game 1 performance here. In the bottom of the 5th, it'll be Dave Collins. 412, a comebacker to the mound. Dave Cash, former Philly, trying to beat his old team. 69, second X. It's Wilfong. You saw the card at 2E5. It's ground ball C. And Ty Waller. 39 is a strikeout. And Carlton is at the top of his game when he needed it. 2-hitter through 5. We go to the 6th. It'll be Mike Schmidt leading off. 1-7. Let's take a look at Mike Schmidt. We've seen this card many times deliver home runs. Schmidt in a mixed card league I played many years ago in the summer league, not this fall league you're watching, set the record for home runs in a summer league, carryover league, with 31 of them in 64 games. No one has exceeded that number in all the from 1969 to 1984 and all the years that I played in Strat-O-Matic. He's the all-time home run individual season holder. He got the 3-run homer off of Dave Schmidt in Game 2 and Game 3. 1-7, that same roll he used against Dave Smith. Homer 1-12, double the rest. He rolls the 9, and it is 3-0. Mike Schmidt versus Nolan Ryan. That fastball went out of the Astrodome. Here's Gary Maddox. 67 is a K. Keith Moreland. 58 is a K. That might be the spot you put your defense in instead of Lonnie Smith. Moreland will exit. McBride will go into right field. Smith goes to DH. 2 outs. Rob Wilfong. 56 is a K. All right. 3-0 game and a clincher. All of Philadelphia's defense is in there. 12 outs to record. McGraw has rest. Carlton's a Hall of Famer. Can the Astros make the improbable comeback? Bottom of the 6th, top of the lineup. Arguably their best player, Cesar Cedeno. 110 is single 118, and it's a base hit. Now the only lefty on the team, Jose Cruz. 2-2, pitcher B stays out of the double play. Speed at first, not going to steal. And here's Rob Piccolo. Let's take a look at the card before he swings. Simply put, he rolled 3-6 against Steve Carlton and Tug McGraw in Game 1. And that's the way it goes. The typical 2 5-10 column. This will hit you, it'll hit you 320 versus lefties. 43%. You see how bad he is against righties. It meant that in 1981, it adds up to a 268 batting average. In the year of the strike, where a lot of the stats were tilted because of the short sample size in the strike year of 1981, probably was the starting shortstop for the Oakland A's as they went into the ALCS versus the Yankees that year. Here is the pitch now to Rob Piccolo. 110 is a ground ball to the pitcher A, and that is your 1-6-3 double play. Well, you hit your wagons to Rob Piccolo for a couple homers in Game 1. It comes back to bite you in Game 5. We go to the 7th. Lefty's got a 3-hit shutout. Ryan will continue into his breaking inning. It's Larry Boa. 62, a comebacker to the mound. Steve Yeager, 64, catcher's X. Ashley was a 2 catcher. E8 makes the play. Back up top to Lonnie Smith, now at DH. 58, strikes out. Nolan Ryan made some mistakes today. True, his defense let him down with an infield hit, or the strategy let him down with the infield hit there, but it's still 3-zip. Bottom of the 7th, it is stretch time here in Houston. We are enjoying the psychedelic sounds of the 13th floor elevators. A reissue of their classic 13th floor elevators from the Houston area of back in the mid-'60s, the Houston music scene, which also featured the Moving Sidewalks, Billy Gibbons' first band. You're Gonna Miss Me, Fire Engine, all the classics by Rocky Erickson. You Don't Know, Roller Coaster, Reverberation, Doubt. Back to the game, bottom of the 7th. Can the Astros rally against the 1980 Cy Young winner, Steve Carlton? Well-rested bullpen, like we said. All the defense the Phillies have, and the Astros don't hit lefties that well. Leading off, it will be Tim Wallach. 55 off Carlton is short X. Boa, 219, makes the play. Dickie Thon, 3-6, is a fly ball to center. And with 2 outs, it's Alan Ashby. 5-12, center X, Gary Maddox. Outstanding defense for the Phils. A 1-3 in center field. The Phillies are going to win this thing, or they can win this thing with their defense. Let's just go through it from top to bottom here. Herndon a 2 and left. Rose a 2 at first. Schmidt's a 1. Maddox is a 1. Wilfong's a 2. Boa's a 2. Yeager's got a -2. Arman is a 2. That's some of the best defense in our sport right now. 3-0 game into the 8th. Ryan will continue. Larry Herndon. 66, a K. Pete Rose, 5'11", second X. Dave Cash, a 4-12 at second. It's a base hit. Mike Schmidt, 56 off of Ryan's a K. And with 2 outs, it's Gary Maddox. 64, catcher's X. Ashby is a 2-8 catcher. Innings over. Bottom of the 8th. On your bench, if you're wondering, well, you got a lefty Harry Spillman, a lefty Denny Walling, and the switch hitter Bill Duran. Doesn't hit lefties very well. So we'll just keep rolling with this. Dave Collins. 210 is a K. Dave Cash, 42. Comebacker to the mound. Ty Waller, 65. Finally, it took them 8 innings. They get into Carlton's 6th column. 6-5 is triple 1 to 7. That's a 3-base hit. With 2 outs. Cedeno. Now, Carlton does break in the 8th. 2 batters will coerce a pitching change. 2 batters reaching. Let's take a look at Cedeno before he swings. This could be the last we see of this card. The 1980 Cedeno card still delivers a .309 average. 10 homers, 32 doubles, 66 walks. Probably the best Astro player from the 70s into the early 80s. I think he finished his career with the Cincinnati Reds. Here's your pitch to Cesar Cedeno. 1-6 is ball 4, and here it is, folks. It's Jose Cruz, the tie run. Let's take a look at Jose Cruz's card. A brilliant year, 1983. Jose, it's .318. 14 homers, 65 walks, 28 doubles. You know, Cruz and Cedeno, the lifelines for the Houston Astros franchise. He's the guy who got the Astros into the playoffs in 1980 and 81. But he is a left-handed batter against the Steve Carlton. So here we are. The pitch to Jose Cruz. 3-11 is a walk. He draws the walk. Carlton thought he got the corner. He did not. And the bases are loaded. Hold on. We got a lot of stuff happening here, folks. The bases are loaded in a 3-0 game, and Steve Carlton has hit the point of weakness. Now, he's got a 3-run lead. A point of weakness single does not give the Astros a lead. Rob Pichlow is the batter. You could go after him with Carlton. You could go after him with Tug McGraw. If you go after him with a righty, it'll invite Duran, Walling, and Spillman into the game. Spillman has a lot of power. Walling has a lot of walks. Behind him, you got Wallach, Thon, and Ashby. I think I want to deal with Rob Pichlow. I'll take it. I mean, I know he's hit that homer on 3-6 in Game 1 a couple times. The question remains, do you want to deal with it with Steve Carlton, or do you want to deal with it with Tug McGraw? And the answer is, I'm going to go with McGraw. We're going to pull lefty with a point of weakness, as Tug McGraw Let's take a look at Tug. He is he's better than Carlton, and of course he's not broken. And as a relief 3, he cannot hit his point of weakness in the 9th inning either. And we've often seen the footage of Tug McGraw on the mound. I believe he was on the mound in the decisive league championship and World Series games of 1980. So he will deal. A lefty coming in for a lefty, non-conventional strategy. But when you're as talented as Carlton and McGraw are, in the last great years of their careers respectively, you make a move like this. So Tug McGraw will come in with the bases loaded and 2 outs and face the dangerous Rob Peachlow. You saw the card. This could be a granny, folks, and this would be one of the most incredible grannies. Remember, McGraw gave up the homer to Peachlow in the 9th. So here we are, the pitch to Rob Peachlow in the 9th. 3-8 hits the column. It's single dot. Keeps the game going, and it's 3-1. Oh boy, folks. Now you got Wallach. Oh boy. Are you gonna get? No, it's Tug McGraw. He has pitched in a lot of these heartthrob moments. You didn't bring him in the game to face one batter. You got him in the game to finish the damn game. So he intentionally walked him in his previous outing, but he's not going to intentionally walk him here. Again, if you intentionally walk him, it makes it a 3-2 game, and then a walk to Dickie Thon could tie it. So he's going to face Tim Wallach. Bases reloaded, 3-1. Here is the pitch. 55 off McGraw. This is short X. It's Larry Boa. Great defense, we said. A 2E19 at short. He's a 2. E19. It's a GBA there. Whoops. This thing got moved. GBA on Boa. So a heart-stopping moment for the Phils. McGraw pats his heart, as he always did when men were on the base in that era, to get out of a pressure situation. Tim Wallach rounds out, and it stays 3-1. Semi-hero Rob Peachlow got the RBI. Keeps the game alive in the 9th. All right. No changes. We didn't go to a pinch hitter, so we'll just keep rolling along with this thing. In the 9th, Ryan, I have no reason to take him out. We've already saw Joe Cimbito and Dave Smith kick the games around. I'll take the Hall of Famer in the 9th. 9th inning, it's Bake McBride in defensively for Keith Moreland, leading off. 53 off Ryan, his first C. Now you got Wilfong. 57 is a K, and with 2 outs, Larry Boa. 58 is a K for the Ryan Express. And that's a head, it's a disappointing 3-1 game in the bottom of the 9th. And Tug McGraw has to avoid the collapse here. You got Thon, Ashby, Collins, Cash, Waller. The only thing that could hurt McGraw is a lefty who hits lefties. On the bench, you have Duran's a switch hitter. That won't work. Harry Spillman is left-handed, but he can hit lefties. Denny Walling is okay. He's very average against lefties. Hits about 265. So he could be a pinch hitter in a reverse platoon for, let's see, which hitter we have him pinch hit for? Maybe Ashby? We'll see. 3-1 game, bottom of the 9th. McGraw continues, trying to get the save and send the Phillies back to the World Series. Here's the pitch to Dickie Thon. 58 is a K. Now you got Alan Ashby. You got Dave Collins on deck, Dave Cash after that, Waller after that. McGraw's not going anywhere. You're looking for the weakest link here to get a lefty versus McGraw. And I think it's Ashby right here. Yeah, we'll do that. So we're going to have the lefty-lefty, Denny Walling. Let's take a look at Denny's card. Denny Walling against a lefty, he's not that bad. Much better against a righty. He's a 299 hitter in 1980. in half season. Played some first, played some left field. Good pinch hitter. Here's a pitch to Denny Walling. 2-9 is a fly ball to right. Both he and Ashby get out in that result. And it's come down to Dave Collins. Let's take a look at Dave. He was a Cincinnati Red in 1980. He hits .303. Not good defensively, but a really good on leadoff hitter. Good base stealer. Also played well later after he left Cincinnati. Had a nice season for the Toronto Blue Jays. Last chance, last gasp for the Astros. Down 3-1 in the series. Here's the pitch to Dave Collins. 38, he chips away with a base hit. All right, Collins will run down to second base. No need to hold him when you're up 2. And that brings up Dave Cash. There's nobody on the bench you'd go to as a pinch hitter. Let's take a look at Dave Cash. So 1980, he's no longer a Philly. He left for the Padres. 1980 would be the last year of his career. In between the Padres and the Phillies, he had a short stay with the Montreal Expos. Hits .227 and 400 plate appearances in 1980. Only fitting that he would face the Phillies, his former team, as the tie run. And .312 on his card ties the game. .312. Here's the pitch to Dave Cash. 1-8 for Cash is a ground ball to short, and that does it, and the Tug McGraw glove gets thrown up in the air as the Phillies are back in the World Series. They finish off a Game 5 3-1 victory. We'll just take this to the post game. The Astros, just not enough firepower, not enough clutch moments. Their only victory, believe it or not, was when Rob Picholo homered in the Game 2 victory. When Ryan outpitched Eric Schall. Today, he could not outpitch Steve Carlton. Ryan takes the complete game loss, 6 hits and 3 runs. All earned, 2 walks, did strike out 12, complete game. McGraw came in the 8th inning, did give up a single to Picholo, allowing an inherited runner to score. Gave up another hit in 9th, that's 2 hits and a K. The story today is Steve Carlton. Too much. Got a no decision in Game 1 when McGraw blew it. Gets a victory in Game 5 when McGraw doesn't blow it. 4 hits, the 1 inherited run in the 8th, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. 1019, 0109, 3616, 3616, 212, 38, 38, 212. And folks, we have a repeat World Series team. I've mentioned before on the channel, I haven't had a team win the World Series in back-to-back years. As far as playing in a World Series in back-to-back years, that may have happened. I think the Dodgers have done it in 77, 78. Which matched Major League Baseball's Dodgers. Pretty consistent there. Did the same thing for me. In that carryover league for me, they lost to the Yankees with the 77, but in 78, they beat the Kansas City Royals. That's how that played out for me. So the Astros finished their season 24-15. They hit .261 with a .305 on base, .261 with a .305 ERA. J.R. Richard, who was waiting in the wings, was 8-0. 21 runs allowed in 74 2/3 innings. That's a .255 earned run average. Ryan finishes 5-5. Dave Smith had 10 saves, but he didn't pitch well in this series. Leading hitter for the Astros, Dickie Thon, had 48 hits. Let's go to the Phillies. A number 3 seed. So last year's Phillies were a little bit better than this year's Phillies. And they got swept 4 straight by the Expos in the World Series. So they will face another team from the American League North, the Ohio Players. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania versus Ohio, the neighbors in the World Series. That'll be fun. The Phils are hitting .293 with a .348 ERA. Believe it or not, Carlton is only 4-2. A lot of no decisions in there. Eric Schall, 5-2. Ray Burr, 6-2. Dick Ruthven, 5-1. So Carlton's got the lowest winning percentage of the starters. McGraw, 3-1, 10 saves. Pitched a lot, as expected. Schmidt, you're wondering? Yep. In a 36-game season, at this point, he's had 15 home runs. Always seems to kill it with that 1981 card. Never slumps with it. Also 36 for 131. Leading hitter for the Phils, Gary Maddox is 44 hits and a surprise. 44 for 137. Gary Maddox hitting .321. A little bit surprising there. By the way, folks, we've played 486 games in our fall league to this point. The league's hitting .275 with a .424 ERA. Those numbers are very high. If you're wondering why they seem higher than the summer league, it's because Seattle and Toronto exist. There's more major league players, which means more talent can be distributed through all 32 teams. So the hitting catches up to the pitching. Versus the summer league, which is playing back in the early 70s before Seattle and Toronto came into existence. That's a big reason why. Let's look at the overall standings as well. So there's the Astros finishing at 24-15 with 6-15 ball there. But the Phils, that's the cream of the crop of the National League, 25-11. They'll face the Ohio Players, 26-10. One game separates the two squads. Pretty interesting. That'll be the World Series. Ohio Players will have home field. Philadelphia at Ohio. Pennsylvania and Ohio. Matching up. We'll do a World Series preview show, and then we'll have the World Series. We're going to broadcast each game, as I tend to do in the final games of the fall and summer leagues. We call it the World Series, but technically, because we play it on Super Bowl weekend, we should probably call it the Super Series or the Super Bowl Series, something like that. Because again, this fall league is a lot crazier than the summer league. And frankly, folks, it's because I don't put nearly as much time and analytics and roster shaping into this league as I do in the summer league. Move a lot of players around, experiment with strategies, and you get a lot of crazy, unusual results. And, well, yeah, Ohio Players, that's a crazy, unusual result. And frankly, it's simply because baseball just is not a higher priority in the fall, winter months as it would be, in spring training when baseball is actually on tap. So my summer league, I put more, it's a longer schedule, there's a longer playoff field, there's much more strategy involved, drafting strategy and analysis, and that's why the summer league is a lot more consistent with the results you would see in traditional IRL in real life Major League Baseball. So there's that. Also, let me just finish with the pitching matchups as we go into that World Series. We are done in 5. So we got days off for both staffs. Both teams' pitching staffs completely rested. The Astros are done. We can go right back to lefty on 3 days rest if we want to. Or we could go to Eric Schall, who pitched very well. Have to think I got to go Carlton on 3 days rest. Yeah, I'm not going to go against the chalk. Carlton would match up against Mike Nars 3 straight times. And frankly, Mike Nars is a lot like a lefty. He's a righty who gets lefties out. So we're going to go Carlton Nars 3 straight times. Plug in Eric Schall in game 2, second best pitcher on the team. Burris in 3. Carlton. And we have to go to Ruthven in 5. We can go Schall here. And Carlton in 7. So it'll be Carlton Norris in game 1, Vita Blue, Eric Schall game 2, a day off, Burris Andahar 3, and then back to Norris and Carlton in game 4. We'll have a full World Series preview coming up, But for now, break up the Philadelphia Phillies in what you could potentially call a remake, a redo of the 1980 NLCS. The Phillies did much better. Same result, they win, but instead of 3-2 result they did in a 5-game series, they get a 4-1 result in a 7-game series. That's it today. Thanks for checking this out, folks. We'll see you for the World Series. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.